This is Honor of Kings World, a new open-world RPG with softlock action combat and multiplayer functionality developed by Tencent's Teamy Studio Group. Based in the world of the MOBA game Honor of Kings, one of the world's largest gaming IPs. The game has already dropped in China as of April 10th with a global release potentially soon on its heels. I'm hopeful it's coming to global soon, as they recently opened up for recruitment for an upcoming alpha test for global. Like Where Winds Meet, the mobile version launched roughly a week after the PC in China. The reason we are comparing the two titles is because they actually do have a lot in common, including their shared use of Eastern fantasy. If this is the first time you've heard of either of them, well, buckle up, as I'm going to take you through them. Before we begin, I would like to state, having played the Chinese version of Honor of Kings World and global Where Winds Meet since its early testing, I can attest to the fact that I love these two games deeply, but I also recognize it can come with some bias. With this in mind, I will do my best to keep this objective and factual and try to leave out my personal opinions. So let me just get out now before I explode. I really do love both of these games, and I think you will too, so if you'd like to be my friend in either of them, feel free to add me, especially with Honor of Kings World releasing sometime globally. And if you haven't tried them or didn't even know about either of them, that they even existed, try them. It's so refreshing as a former MMOer looking for a fresh game to play that has multiplayer but still gives me the MMO vibes, and both of these games do that. Also bear in mind, anything I say for Honor of Kings World can change prior to its global release. What exists in China and the timelines China follows may not be what we get. The point of this video is so you can come out with a better grasp of the game that is coming. Before we formally begin, let's discuss the platforms these two games are available on. Where Winds Meet can be found on PC, PS5, and mobile for full crossplay compatibility. Honor of Kings World currently exists in China for PC and mobile with full crossplay compatibility as well. There are talks of console release floating around the air, but no official announcement has been made yet. However, we can see there is controller support in the game for all you controller weirdos out there. I mean, I'm just kidding. I love you too, but mouse and keyboard is just better, I'm just saying. Where Winds Meet brings the vibrant martial world of wuxia to life as a beautiful open-world ARPG. It first launched in China in 2024 on PC, with a mobile version following just weeks later. The game finally went global in November 2025 with a simultaneous PC and PS5 release, followed by the mobile version in December 2025. In contrast, Honor of Kings World is a brand new adventure, having only been out for a few weeks now in China. However, it draws from a legendary legacy. Its predecessor, the original Honor of Kings MOBA, launched in China back in 2015 and exploded onto the global scene in 2024. The 5v5 battles became a massive phenomenon, surpassing even League of Legends in player numbers, thanks largely to its overwhelming popularity in China. Now, Honor of Kings World lets you step into that beloved universe, featuring many of the iconic heroes and characters you already know and love from the MOBA. Unlike the classic MOBA experience, Honor of Kings World throws open the doors to a true character creation. After a breathtaking cinematic intro, you get to choose your hero's sex and then dive deep into crafting their identity. The facial editor is impressively detailed, and you can fine-tune every feature, layering on stunning makeup and adding some tattoos that will give your character real personality on their face only. Hair options are limited to just 3 styles, with no color customization, but you can freely swap between 3 distinct outfits and those original hairstyles anytime in the game. Unfortunately, the body remains locked and uneditable. Where Winds Meet follows a very similar philosophy. You get the same high-precision face sculpting, rich makeup choices, and tattoo options. Body editing is still off the table, but you're treated to a much more generous 11 hairstyles. Though, just like Honor of Kings World, you can't change the hair color. There are some hairs that you can change the color of, but they are typically locked behind shop purchases or gacha hairs. If you've already fallen in love with Where Winds Meet, you know it delivers the true wuxia fantasy freedom players crave. From the moment you enter the game, you can wield a sword or spear, but the real fun begins as you unlock any weapon you desire simply by playing the game. You can equip up to 3 weapons at once, the bow being a permanent slotted weapon as your ranged option. The arsenal is stylish and varied. Elegant fans, deadly swords, spears, dual blades, rope darts, mysterious umbrellas, and the recently added Hung Dao. Each weapon features its own trio of skills, plus fluid light and heavy attacks. No ultimates here, just pure martial mastery. You can even infuse your weapons with poison, fire, or water to add elemental damage and devastating effects. On top of that, there's a deep library of martial arts techniques you can learn, with up to 8 equipable slots that unlock as you progress. The beauty of this system lies within its flexibility. Weapons fall into tank, DPS, and healer categories, letting you freely mix them into powerful hybrid builds like a DPS healer or tank DPS warrior. You can also customize your inner ways, powerful bonuses that trigger bleeds, boost healing, create shields, and much more. All this combines into incredibly unique and personal builds you can constantly experiment with. Best of all, unlocking new weapons feels rewarding and natural, either by completing special quests or joining a sect that specializes in that weapon style. The combat more centers around your ability to parry perfectly and perfect dodge, and so long as you do this, even if you don't have the best damage, you can clear almost any fight with this purely action combat game. Honor of Kings World takes a similar mix and match philosophy, letting you blend roles like support with DPS or tank with healer or however you please. The big twist in this game, the weapons are the characters themselves. Unlocking a new hero instantly gives you their unique weapon and full skill set. In Honor of Kings World, you can equip 2 weapons, effectively 2 heroes at a time, giving you a fantastic build variety right from the start. And each weapon has its own HP. So when you are swapping between weapons, you will notice that you have different HP that will change. If you die on one class, you will notice that you see the little bubble over to the side begin to dissipate, and when that reaches nothing in there, that means you die completely. So this game really encourages you to swap back and forth evenly between the classes, so make sure they have a synergy with each other. Your first weapon is the signature Flowborn Blade, called Primal Flow, a powerful sword that unleashes scorching, flame-infused attacks that manifest into other weapons. Like Where Winds Meet, each weapon comes with 3 core skills, but here's the big difference. Every single one has its own powerful ultimate ability and interesting combos. There's even an execute ability once you break your enemy, and this will allow you to deal uninterrupted damage to the enemy. And then when your timer runs out, this is when you perform your execute, which everyone in the group will begin performing as well. Instead of strict elements, each weapon has a clear combat purpose and identity that shines in battle. Your second weapon is Shai's Grace of Lotus, the graceful weapon that beautifully blends healing, damage, and strong area of effect control. From there, the roster opens up with an impressive lineup of heroes. And please, forgive me for my pronunciation of these names. Goro is a swift DPS bowmaster, and Kaiser, the great sword-wielding tank who excels at parrying and frontline defense. Mengye, an optionally high-flying mech gunner delivering ranged DPS from the skies or ground. Subin, a tricky support who freezes time and deploys energy shots. Wong Xiaoyun, an elegant ice mage capable of freezing enemies while mixing support and DPS. Mulan, a fierce dual-wielding swordmaster who plays as a strong tank DPS hybrid. Master Luban, another mech specialist focused on team support. Yao, my personal favorite, as I just refer to him as Starboy, a flashy blade wielder who teleports across the battlefield to slice enemies apart. Lang Chun, a ruthless assassin who trades her own health for massive DPS bursts. I will note here that every character, aka weapon, can be generally unlocked just by playing the game and receiving it through story events or using in-game currency to unlock it. However, it does seem that they may go for a system where there will be one weapon locked behind the battle pass. Goro, the bow wielder, is this battle pass's locked class. It appears that the base battle pass is around $10 US, but likely global prices will change. Now back to the combat. Not every weapon can parry, but every weapon can counterattack so long as you perfect dodge. The weapons, while the combat is action, does have a soft lock-on. For example, even as a sword wielder, I only need but face the general direction of what I want to attack and it will drag me right to it. As a ranged attacker, will also soft lock onto your enemies and your ranged attacks will just whoop right onto the enemy. Combat gets even more epic with summons. Cute little creatures or massive boss-like creatures you can call into the battle. These powerful allies provide shields, devastating area of effect damage, and various game-changing effects depending on which one you choose. You can only have up to one summon active at a time, but they can be deeply upgraded, similar to Where Winds Meet Inner Ways, to boost damage, improve stats, add new effects, and so much more. All this incredible customization hero synergy naturally flows into the gear system. In Where Winds Meet, gear drops from dungeons, world bosses, quests, raids, outposts, and generally in the open world chests. In most cases, such as dungeons and raids, you'll be able to choose if you'd like to open a DPS healer or tank class style of gear, and the stats and tier of the gear that comes out will be RNG. The current tier gear can have one stat re-rolled, while the final general skill can be changed as many times as you like, so long as you have the material, which you get by playing the game. The quality of the higher tier gear stats is determined by the various grades of stones you get from either recycling gear or purchasing it with in-game currency you get from playing the game from the shops. Weapons and gear need to be upgraded each time there is a breakthrough to a new character level, with the current level cap being at 90. No gear can be crafted beyond your bow and ring that only give you stats for your bow, but it does not affect any other power level. This is pretty much the entirety of the complexity of the gearing system. Whereas in Honor of Kings World, gearing is a little different, a bit more complex in my eyes. Gear drops from various dungeon types, gear crafting at late game, quests, dailies, and elite bosses in the open world. Each weapon has its own gear necessary for it. As I mentioned, most weapons can be support, DPS, or tank, and even blend two in one weapon. There are no real pure builds in this game. Instead, it's all about synergy, how well your two equipped heroes support and amplify each other. So for, say, Shy's weapon, I need to go for support gear, while for my Flowborn weapon, I will want assault gear. So you'll either go for support, assault, or clash gear. And this is where the RNG hits a bit more too. There are gear sets. Typically, it will allow you to choose from 3 types of classes that can get up to at least 5 gear sets. RNG plays a bigger role here too. Each class type has different gear sets to chase, so you'll be hunting for that perfect role. The great news, your actual weapon never gets replaced. It grows with you. Upgrading your weapon makes it stronger and unlocks powerful new talents and passives. Upgrading, ascending, and advancing are locked behind your bracer level, aka your character level. As you can tell, almost everything comes in 3 in this game. So after upgrading, you will also need to be advancing it, which uses one type of upgrading material to make it stronger, while ascending costs a different upgrading material to make it stronger and increases the upgrading limit. But the layering doesn't stop there. You can further customize your build with Arcana that slots into each weapon's unique Arcana slots, letting you fine-tune and diversify your playstyle even more. On top of that, you can socket flow stones directly onto your gear pieces for additional stat spikes, unique effects, and powerful combat boosts. Altogether, it creates an incredibly deep and satisfying progression system where your build truly feels like your own. And you'll need to feel like your own person, as this game is multiplayer, so sometimes it's a little hard to stand out. In Where Winds Meet, when entering into the game, you'll have various difficulty levels to choose from for your world. From story mode to recommended all the way to legendary and beyond if you really want to sweat it out. Your world difficulty also increases with each breakthrough to match your new level. You'll spend your time alone in the game until about level 10, and you continue playing the game alone if you would like, exploring the massive open world entirely by yourself. However, some leisure activities, 5-player dungeons, and 10-player raids, and 30v30 guild wars do require other people. However, it is noted you can run the dungeons and raids with AI for reduced rewards. So if you really don't like people, you can do that.
You hate people and I hate people.
You can have up to 4 other players join your world for a total of 5 players, where you can explore, open chests, complete puzzles, and collect resources all together. The downside is you cannot do the main story together. There is also a multiplayer world where you can go and hang out with a ton of other people, collect resources, ride on a whale's boat, do martial art poses, and generally do malarkey, but all leisurely, of course, with no real meaningful combat in this mode. Honor of Kings World, I feel, takes the multiplayer feature and changes it up a bit. There's no difficulty level, just level scaling dungeons and world levels that increase your world difficulty as you level. Right on the gate beyond the character creation, you'll be thrust into the world with other people. As you're exploring the world, you'll see other players moving about as little blue ghosts, and you can interact with them and even emote with them. You'll see their little ghost fighting various bosses. Granted, you can't see the boss itself, but you'll see them going to town on something imaginary if you've already killed the boss, or you might see the boss and see their little ghosty apparitions moving around the boss. If you should so choose to, you can pull these other players into your world together and do most of the main story together and even side quests. You don't even need to be on the same level or at the same story point to play together. Queenie was behind me in the story and could still join me for mine and got the rewards for doing so, but when returning to her world, went right back to where she was in story progress. Everyone will need to collect and open treasure chests on their own, though, as this is not shared despite being in the same world. Interestingly enough, it seems that when you mine, it is shared amongst the group. Mining appears to be the only thing shared within the group, because if you're out there gathering, like plants or anything, that is also not shared. However, you can do puzzles together, and the puzzles will be completable by both of you at the same time and will complete in your world as well. Your group can't move too far away though, as they'll be moved back into their world until you get near one another again. So, make sure you don't have a friend that runs off, does other things. One tiny issue I did run into with multiplayer though over on CN was when playing with my friend Pebble. We were in a multi-leveled area. I was downstairs killing mobs and he was upstairs continuing on with a story quest because he didn't realize I wasn't right behind him. He triggered the cutscene for my world and even completed the boss fight, and I received no notification about my quest being advanced or that there was a cutscene or a boss. So bear in mind when inviting people that aren't moving at your pace, it could advance your story, because it advanced my personal story for my world because he continued on in it and it didn't pull me into that, so I missed out on a chunk of information with a story. When you're in towns, you'll actively see other players moving around, not as ghosts, but as themselves. Once you move out of the town though, you'll move through this little blue shield with no load screen at all and be back in your own world with ghost people. Dungeons are also 4-player, and as of current, there are no raids in Honor of Kings World. There are also no guilds that I can find. Essentially, it seems to just be chat rooms with people instead of actual guilds, and the limit of how many you can join is 5. And of course, no proper multiplayer world would be complete without rich and meaningful relationships. And both games deliver in style. In Where Winds Meet, this social system feels truly alive. You can marry virtually anyone your heart desires, building deep bonds that unlock all kinds of delightful perks. Join the Velvet Sect and you can have up to 6 spouses at once, creating your own sprawling martial arts family, if you will. Beyond romance, there are layered connections, friendships, a master-disciple system where one master can guide up to 5 disciples, and these sworn bonds that allow you to form tight-knit squads with up to 10 blood brothers or sisters. Every relationship grows through shared adventures and bond points, rewarding you with exclusive cosmetics, prestigious titles, fun emotes, and practical benefits like temporarily sharing outfits, seeing when your companions log in, jumping into the parties without any invite, and pulling off spectacular synchronized moves during intense battles. The social layer here is genuinely rewarding and deeply entwined with gameplay. Honor of Kings World keeps the romance and camaraderie going. You can marry whomever catches your eye and even choose the perfect scenic spot to tie the knot, whether it's atop a misty mountain peak, beside a glowing river, or in the heart of a bustling ancient city. Friendship bonds are equally meaningful, granting you shared emotes, unique titles, and convenience for knowing exactly when your closest allies are online and ready for adventure. While the rewards for Honor of Kings World relationship isn't quite as in-depth as Where Winds Meet, they still add that satisfying layer of connection that makes logging logging in feel warmer and more social. When you've got friends, spouses, and a whole crew of martial arts companions, you're going to want a proper place to kick back and hang out together. And both games deliver satisfying housing options that make your social life feel truly more personal. In Where Winds Meet, the freedom is seriously impressive. You can craft and place your dream house almost anywhere in your personal open world, carving out a peaceful homestead on a scenic mountainside beside a tranquil river or a deep forest. The only restrictions are the obvious ones. You can't build inside an established town or sacred zones. Even better, a full farming and NPC companion system is coming soon to global version, letting you turn your home into a living, breathing estate where crops grow and loyal NPCs will manage the place while you're out adventuring. And if you need more storage space, you can always rent a house in Kaifeng and have, more bag space. And it only costs in-game currency. Guilds get their own creative playground too. Select guild members can become official builders and construct everything from grand halls to elaborate training grounds inside the guild base. My own guild, Crash Out, has been going all out, stacking ambitious builds one tree, one beam, and one dream at a time. Watching our little corner of the world slowly transform into something epic has been genuinely satisfying. Insert self-plug for guild here. Join today. Crash Out is amazing. I'm just saying, we're kind of cool. If you want to hang out sometime, that'd be great. Housing in Honor of Kings World steps up as genuinely important, rewarding pillar of the game, far more than just cosmetic side activity. Your home begins as a modest plot within a designated housing zone on the vast open world map. As you level it up by completing cozy housing quests and tending to your fields, the property expands dramatically, unlocking up to 4 additional plots for a sprawling personal homestead. Compared to the incredible creative freedom in Where Winds Meet, building here is more structured and streamlined. You work with pre-designed building pieces and curated selection of furniture. It's less about wild architecture experimentation and more about stylish, satisfying customization. But the real heart of the system is the farming, and it's brilliantly designed as a self-sustaining loop. You grow the crops, harvest them, sell the goods for currency, and use that money you got from selling the crops to buy more building materials for the housing and furniture. The most critical reason to jump into housing early is the fact that you need health potions. You'll burn through them at an alarming rate in tougher battles and dungeons, and the best way to keep your stockpile full is by growing the rare crafting materials yourself. Players who ignore housing will quickly find themselves potion poor, so getting your farm running and leveled up as fast as practically possible is essential. Then there's the charming and strategic pet system that brings your homestead to life even further. Every farm gets a loyal pet that you must keep well fed so it can scare off would-be crop thieves. Other players can visit your land too. They might kindly water your plants and speed up growth, or sneak in and steal your hard-earned harvest, so if you're not protected, you're gonna lose your crops. On top of that, you get a pet dispatch. Up to 3 times a day, you can send teams of 3 pets out across the map on expeditions to gather variable crafting resources, especially the ones needed for precious healing potions. Again, this makes the housing so important. It's the perfect way to keep your supplies flowing even while you're out adventuring. Otherwise, you're going to have to go explore the open world and collect the potion materials yourself. Overall, housing in Honor of Kings World feels meaningful, strategic, and surprisingly addictive. It's kind of like a mini game within itself. Moving into the more cozy aspect of the games, let's discuss the world, activities, and story itself. Both titles are open world with massive maps and areas you can seamlessly move between. Both games have different levels to explore and discover, as there are areas both under and above ground. Despite the similarities, there are some differences. Where Winds Meet stands out with its stunning, realistic art style and incredible variety of biomes. From snow-draped mountains and windswept deserts to lush, mist-covered bamboo forests that sway gently in the breeze, and murky waters you can swim in to get treasure galore, every corner of the world feels alive and worth discovering. And the activities, there is an astonishing amount to do. You can fish, you can challenge massive world bosses, cook up some stat boosting meals, uncover hidden stories and ancient secrets, play mahjong or traditional board games with other players, dance gracefully in public squares for everyone to admire, solve open world puzzles, although granted the puzzles in Where Winds Meet is not that hard, gather rare materials you can find directly by opening the map and selecting what you'd like to find, wrestling with friends, testing your aim in archery contests and complete daily sect missions, and have a surprisingly deep conversation with AI NPCs. You'll also solve riddles, play beautiful instruments, get delightfully drunk and play pitch pot, throwing arrows into pots, watch spectacular fireworks light up the night sky, and so much more. There is so much to do in this game. All this happens while you're swept up in one of the richest stories I've seen in a multiplayer game in a hot minute. As the young master is navigating the turbulent world, you'll experience a narrative that doesn't hold back. It's unafraid to kill off characters you've grown to love, delivering genuine laughs, heartbreaking moments, and tears. I have cried so much during this game, I swear. Drawing from ocean-deep Chinese history, legends, and philosophy, the story feels meaningful, emotional, and beautifully woven into the world itself. Granted, the story is kind of heavy. It is long. It is talkative as you get further into the story. You'll be moving about this world though, using martial arts, flying once you've unlocked it for the area, teleporting, various mounts, climbing, jumping, and swimming. Honor of Kings World brings its own multitude of things to the table as well. The art style leans into that gorgeous, almost Final Fantasy inspired aesthetic, which, by the way, you can't tell me Cloud and Aerith don't exist in this game. Look at them. It's them. You will dive into the depths of fun this game has to offer. The biomes are rich and varied, even though the game only recently launched in China. You roam through lush, grassy plains, dive beneath shimmering bodies of water to hunt for sunken treasures, scale rugged mountains, and stumble into one particular zone that feels straight out of World of Warcraft's Shadow Moon Valley. Like, you can't tell me that's not Shadow Moon Valley. That looks just like Shadow Moon Valley. And it is absolutely breathtaking. All while exploring, you'll be able to complete puzzles, which I actually feel are more difficult and engaging than Where Winds Meet puzzles, because they are more complex. I'm just saying. I'm not being biased, I'm just saying they're more complex. And you will also be gathering materials that can easily be found by the built-in interactive map. You do hidden quests, race against other hoverboarders, fight world bosses, play board games, fish, cook, and explore the regions to unlock cosmetics, making the exploration feel worth it for every region. While there's not a ton of like leisure cooperative activities beyond, exploring your world and doing what I mentioned before, they have more than enough combat activities and exploration activities in your world to fully keep you engaged. And the story, coming in with zero prior knowledge of Honor of Kings universe, I was completely hooked. It's one epic moment after another, literally had me doing the Owen Wilson wow meme out loud on repeat. It's grand, cinematic, and wildly mesmerizing. There was one genuinely touching attempt with Luban's story that tugged a little at the heartstrings, but overall it's more about epic scale and constant wonder than heavy emotional drama so far. All this unfolds while you're zooming around the world like a pro, hoverboarding and teleporting across the map, climbing, gliding through the air with your glider, grappling to distant ledges, jumping and swimming freely. Traversal feels smooth, fast, and fun. But let's be real, some of you glorious gremlins are going to skip straight past the beautiful stories and head right for the explosions, flashy skills, and sweet loot. I see you. I know you. I'm talking to you. So let's get to the good stuff, the PvE combat opportunities. Both games give you plenty of enemies to smash, chests to loot, and epic world bosses to take down with other players or by yourself. But once again, Where Winds Meet offers a variety of combat choices. Beyond regular open world mob grinding and story fights, you've got a proper in-game challenges that will keep things fresh. There are sword trials, which are the main dungeon, and it's just one sword trial per breakthrough, and for most of them, and you're doing the same one over and over again. It gets a little old. I'm Just saying. But up to 5 players can go in, or you can bring the AI companions for a full party, and you can dive right in. Each breakthrough level unlocks a new dungeon packed with 2 solid boss fights designed to test your gear and skills. There are hero realms, which are essentially raids. These fights happen once a week with a team of 10 players, and you can go in and face off against 2 tough bosses that are loaded with mechanics, and you have coordination checks and juicy gear rewards. There are also outpost challenges that let you charge straight into enemy strongholds and fight an entire fortified camp of foes for unique drops and glory. There is also the path trials, which are solo proving grounds where the difficulty ramps up based on your role: healer, DPS, or tank, pushing your individual skill to the limit for rewards. There are also trials, which are ultimate solo gauntlet and probably the hardest content in the game in my opinion. You'll face increasingly brutal versions of the bosses from the story and world, with the final challenges demanding perfect play. You kill them with 0 damage taken inside, and a strict time limit is given. It's intense, punishing, and incredibly satisfying when you're finally able to clear it. And I've only personally cleared one because I suck. While hero realms are mechanically demanding, their real difficulty often comes from hurting random players to actually pay attention and execute the fights properly. We've all been there. This makes me glad I am a part of a solid raiding guild. Hint hint, wink wink, my guild. Crash out. You should join it. You want more? I'm plugging it. Join us. We're amazing. Overall, Where Winds Meet gives combat fans a rich, layered ecosystem of group, small content, and solo challenges that will keep you engaged. Honor of Kings World, though, I feel more than makes up for not having raids with a variety of PvE fights you can engage in. So as I mentioned earlier, you're going to need a lot of upgraded materials for your arcanes, your weapons, your gear, talents, and even your summons. So naturally, there's going to be a lot of ways to obtain said rewards. You'll be able to run duels against various creatures or instructors to garner upgrade materials. The difficulty scales with your level, and you can run it with 4 players in total. Or you can do it solo. You don't have to do it with other people. Then there are mighty foes, large boss monsters you'll teleport to in the open world to fight up to 3 times a week to receive gear and materials. You can either fight this boss alone, or you can do it with a full party of 4. Just presume when I say max party size moving forward, it means 4 people in total. It's always 4 people. There's nothing higher than 4 people in this game for right now. These bosses are usually locked behind story as they're big epic fights. Then there are battle echoes, where you'll face off against a series of several bosses, usually to obtain gear, and this costs stamina. This is done with max party. Then once you reach a higher character level, you unlock Dreamwalker Odyssey, and it will randomize the daily dungeon with no cost to your stamina for the first daily run with a max party size. If that wasn't enough, there are also Scourges, which is 3 various bosses you'll face off against in waves with interesting mechanics with your max party size. You can run Scourges until the max points are reached for the week, and even make it on a leaderboard based on time cleared. These are important to do for your summon upgrade materials and other materials. Probably the most difficult dungeon to run are Unrealms, where you will once more face off against a wave of 3 different bosses in various arenas for gear and upgrade materials. This is probably the most mechanically heavy and difficult challenge in the game right now for PvE. You can run this twice a week for rewards, so make sure you level up as far as you can for the week, as the difficulty tiers are locked behind your character level. This is also done with max party size. There are limited reses and limited healing potions that are able to be utilized here, so be smart and eat your boosting food and prepare for some fun. Like Where Winds Meet, you can face off against boss enemies, but if you wanted better gear from them, you do have the ability to awaken them, thus increasing their level and difficulty to reap better rewards. You can face this solo or max party size in the open world, and it does have a 24-hour cooldown between boss kills. Then finally, the Bubble Fish Dream. I know that is a silly name. I don't know if it'll be a different name when it comes to global, but that's just what I see. It is essentially an endless tower mode. Here is where you'll get lots of upgrade materials, currency, and even access a shop with various cosmetics and materials. If that's not enough PvE combat for you, I don't know, man. That is a lot to do in a day and a week. There's just so much to fight. But to do any of these fights, we really need to discuss the Stamina systems. And that was me trying to be dramatic because I know you guys are like, oh god, stamina. Now let's talk stamina, because yes, both Where Winds Meet and Honor of Kings World run on the classic MMO energy system that decides exactly how much dungeon diving you can do before the game politely tells you to go touch grass or explore the world and do side quests, because you really should go do those. Those are kind of important. In Where Winds Meet, your stamina cap sits at 550 points and regenerates fully over 3 days. Running a proper dungeon for gear costs 60 stamina per run, while outpost challenges, which drop both gear and valuable upgrade materials, cost a lighter 20 stamina. Thankfully, you have a smart option. You can choose to run any dungeon or outpost for 3 times rewards and burn through your stamina much faster if you're in a less grindy mood. The catch is, though, getting extra stamina isn't easy. You either wait for the slow natural recharge or use stamina pills. These precious pills are pretty rare. You'll mainly earn them through the battle pass, usually capped around like 9 pills in total, with occasional extras from limited time events or story progress, and each pill only restores 60 stamina, so they're genuinely valuable. Smart players save every single one for those breakthrough moments when higher tier gear becomes available, instead of wasting them early on. Important note, the only activities that actually drain your stamina in Where Winds Meet are dungeons, world bosses if you go for the drops, and outposts. Everything else, open world activities, trials, raids, etc., it's completely stamina free. You can grind those as much as you want to on your schedule, although raids are once a week rewards. While in Honor of Kings World, not everything drains your energy, you can enjoy the endless tower mode, weekly clears with scourges, mighty foes, and undreamed dungeons limited only by their weekly run/drop, first time dungeon clears, your 1 free daily battle echoes run, and world bosses, which have a daily respawn cooldown after being killed. All completely stamina free. That's a big win for players who just want to grind gear and upgrade materials without constantly watching a meter. Your stamina cap is 200 and it naturally refills over roughly 20 hours. I don't think this timer is quite right. I don't know. Somebody can do the mathy maths. Go for it. I tried. It didn't make sense. Beyond that free daily battle echo run, any additional ones will cost 80 stamina each. Dual battles run at 40 stamina per attempt. And the best part, the chunk of meaningful PvE content for progressing your gear and power stays completely unlocked by stamina, but more by daily limits. You're free to dive into tons of activities without hitting a wall. Unlike Where Winds Meet, the Battle Pass doesn't give direct stamina, but it does hand out valuable extra reward drop vials that boost your loot by an additional drop per run, which is very nice for efficient grinding. And also, as you move along, you'll be able to spend more stamina to get more rewards one time. Where Honor of Kings World really differs is in the extra ways to gain stamina. There are overflow stamina cups. You can stack up to 5 extra cups, each granting 60 stamina once they fill. They slowly charge over 540 minutes, aka 9 hours, after you hit your 200 cap. There is an occasional stamina given to you through world breakthrough milestones, and yes, you can straight up buy the stamina with these blue stones that you see here. Now let me explain that. The bluestone currency you can earn naturally through regular playing of the game. While you can spend it on extra stamina, most free-to-play players should avoid this temptation at all costs. These bluestones are better saved for unlocking character weapons not given by the story, snagging cosmetics, or re-rolling on the free-to-play gacha. However, those blue stones can be directly translated into stamina and can be purchased with real money for endless PvE grinding with stamina PvE content. This leads me into PvP because I know a lot of you started sweating a little bit there, but hang with me, babes, it's fine. Both games have rewarding PvP content. Where Winds Meet especially goes hard with a wide variety of PvP modes that keeps it exciting. There are 1v1 duels, which are quick and skill-based. The matchmaking tries to pair you based on your current mastery and gear, talents, and inner techniques. So everything that gives you an edge is just just basically what you put into the game in terms of playing. Not any money benefit will save you here at all. So this is free to play friendly as you can get with your PvE gear. There are also 3v3 arenas, which are fast-paced team fights and demand coordination, clutch plays as well. Then also there is a battle royale mode called Perception Forest, where you can jump in anytime and scavenge the arena for gear and resources. Everything is fair game once you drop, creating balanced high-stakes survival chaos. Then there are also 30v30 guild wars, which are massive large-scale battles where entire guilds clash in all-out war, and your gear does matter, so make sure you've played the game and leveled up before going into 30v30 guild wars. Then of course there are prison breaks, which is kind of a chaotic, fun, more leisure activity mode where one team plays an escaping prisoner while the other acts as guards. It's completely unbalanced by design and pure chaotic fun, especially when you're breaking out your friend that stole something for the 5th time, because you know in Where Winds Meet you have real consequences for breaking the law and you will spend time in jail, okay? Based on the severity of the crime that you have committed, you will spend more time in jail unless somebody breaks you out. Then there are also bounties, which are people that hunt down marked players across the world for justice, revenge, or sweet rewards. Nothing beats the thrill tracking down and taking down your target. Trust me, I don't do this, but I've had it done to me. Timing matters in some of these modes. 1v1 duels are available daily with dedicated arena windows, while 3v3 has specific scheduled days and times. Perception Forest, however, is always open for drop-in mayhem and is probably the most balanced, as you go in naked and have to pick up gear just like any battle royale. Guild Wars and Prison Break lean heavily into unbalanced large-scale action where your personal character growth, gear, and guild investment make all the difference. And Guild Wars is actually locked, you know, specific days and times as well, but Prison Break, I think you can do that at any point in time. I'm going off memory here. Whether you're a solo duelist looking for fair fights or a guild warrior craving massive battle chaos, Where Winds Meet gives you plenty of ways to throw down and earn bragging rights. Honor of Kings World brings serious PvP heat, and it makes total sense. Coming from the same universe as one of the biggest MOBAs on a planet, the game knows how to deliver thrilling player versus player action, and it better, because you can't just come from a MOBA world, you know, and be like, we're all about fighting, and just fall flat on your face with the combat for PvP. While it currently has fewer modes than Where Winds Meet, with more on the way, it compensates beautifully with high replayability and some generally addictive formats. There are 1v1 duels that let you square off in pure skill battles. You can only pick from classes you've unlocked though, and you usually get a free seasonal hero to play with, is what I'm understanding by looking at this. All your hard-earned PvE gear, levels, and progression gets stripped away. It's just you, your mechanics, and your game sense on the line. Then for me, the standout winner is the 4v4 cart push mode. Now this is so fun. It is easily the most fun PvP experience in the game right now, or any game that I have played that's more like MMO-esque. So here, unlocks don't matter at all. You can jump in as any class you want, even powerful ones like Goro, without owning the battle pass. It's completely fair and balanced. PvE grinding means nothing once you're inside. If you've ever played Overwatch, this mode feels instantly familiar and addictive. You essentially pick between the roles ambush, DPS support, clash, or fill, plus a powerful skill action, which, you know, is either AoE heals, crowd control breaks, and more. Then it's 4v4 chaos as your team pushes or defends a moving cart before time runs out. As the match progresses, you can unlock and upgrade talents on the fly, making every round feel fresh, strategic, and wildly different from the last. You can even opt to create your own PvP room where you can do solo combat, where you do 1v1s that has a ban mode, or you can do Rin's Pursuit, which is essentially the cart push one with as many players as you like. You can have 2, 3, or 4. Finally, there's the high stakes 1v1 martial combat that crowns the end of each season. This one throws all the rules out of the window and you bring your fully upgraded PvE build into the arena, and only the strongest, best geared warriors survive the brutal elimination bracket. Overall, Honor of Kings World's PvP shines through quality and clever design rather than just sheer quantity. It's fast, fair in the right ways, and gives you the perfect mix of pure skill and expression. And finally, the real endgame that keeps players hooked for hundreds of hours: fashion and the gacha systems. Both games are proudly free to play, and refreshingly, they don't go full Diablo Immortal on you. There is no brutal pay to win PvP domination here. Instead, both titles genuinely respect your inner fashion icon and give you plenty of ways to look absolutely legendary without emptying your wallet. Sometimes it does. Where Winds Meet takes the crown for free-to-play friendly fashion and has stuck by its no pay-to-win philosophy beautifully since launch. The game showers you with free outfits just by playing the story, building relationships and marriages, smashing achievements, joining sects, and grinding with your guild. You'll also rack up plenty of free gacha currency through regular events and consistent play. Sure, there's a premium gacha that tempts you to spend, but if you're smart, patient players simply hoard their free pulls and snipe the exact outfits they really want from the gacha. In the fashion game here, it slaps pretty hard. You can freely mix and match tops and different bottoms, swap hairstyles on the fly, dye outfits, and toggle individual head ornaments on or off for the perfect customization. The result is some of the most stylish, creative characters you'll see in any game. Whether you're rocking elegant flowing silks or battle-ready armor for a personal flair, Where Winds Meet lets you express yourself without feeling punished for staying free to play. Honor of Kings World doesn't hold back in the fashion game either. One of the smartest motivations to explore every corner of the map is the area completion rewards. Unlocking a region often gives you the exclusive, unique-looking outfits that make your journey feel stylish and worthwhile. On top of that, you can spend the in-game currency you've earned by buying gorgeous outfits or even makeup options. Pretty much every system in the game showers you with fashion upgrades, PvP rewards, the Endless Tower's dedicated shop, and even certain bosses drop rare one-of-a-kind fits. It feels like the game constantly celebrates your progress with new ways of looking amazing. And since many weapons are tied to iconic characters, you can actually morph into them when equipping their weapon, but only if you own their skin. You can freely swap between playing as that legendary character or your own custom hero whenever you want. It's the perfect blend of personal identity and characters that you love from the story. Like Where Winds Meet, Honor of Kings World has two gacha systems. One is real money only, but the other runs on your hard-earned blue currency, which I strongly recommend saving for unlocking new classes and skins you actually want. So far, they've already given out a free 10 pull for the paid gacha, which is a great sign. I'm hopeful they'll continue leaning into generous events and story rewards like Where Winds Meet, letting free-to-play players eventually save up for these dream outfits. And the customization is excellent. You can mix and match tops and bottoms, rock some different hairstyles, and even dye your outfits in different colors. All of this combines to create some truly unique and eye-catching characters roaming the world. And now that we've reached endgame, we've reached the end of this video. I tried to cover as much as I could here, but if you feel like you wanted something else explained here that wasn't covered, feel free to ask in the comments below and I will try to get back to you. Be sure to sign up for the Global Alpha and keep tabs on Honor of Kings World. And heck, if you weren't familiar with Where Winds Meet, try it. It's a great game. You can play for free right now. Plugging for Crash Out once again is one of the best guilds in the game, I'm just saying. I look forward to seeing you all in game. This was MRSSSTIX, logging out for now.